Hey, Connor.
Hey Steve, how's it going?
It's going great. Hey,
Good, good.
stoked we could get some time together today. And for those of you listening, this is part of our new series, Meet the Team, with our very own Connor Bartley, who's out of Texas and
hmm
supports Jim Weir's region.
Yes, Region 4, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, South Dakota.
Go big or go home, right?
That's right.
Hey, so for the purpose of this, we're really trying to get people to learn a little bit more about you and kind of what you do here and, the value you create. So
Sure.
just out of to get it started, like, why don't you tell us a little bit about, what sets you apart as a mortgage recruiter in the business and things you do to stay on top of your game?
Sure. I don't know how much I stand apart. I do my best to just try and be a good listener. Take an empathetic approach. I know making a change for anybody, whether it's this job or another job, I've recruited for 15 years in various industries, but, making a change is challenging, and there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot that you consider, and there's a lot that I may never fully understand because it's not shared or whatever. But my goal really is to just be empathetic, communicate very clearly, and be transparent. And that's one thing I think loanDepot does really well is just the transparency of things with all the different demos and videos and conversations that we can set up for a candidate. But to stay on top of my game, I guess it's listening to different industry related podcasts, checking out live streams, anything I can to gather information and find things of value that I can share on my next conversation. My goal is not just to be the guy that calls you every couple of months to see if you hate your job and are looking to make a change, but rather a phone call that you want to accept and take because the last time we talked, I shared something that was of value to you, something you can implement in your day-to-day. And maybe you're already doing it, or maybe it's something that doesn't apply to you, but maybe it's, well, I wonder what Connor's got to say this time. And,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. So it's just trying to be a constant source of good information.
Yeah. I mean, and I think you've been here for about 3 years now, right? Just had your
Yep.
anniversary.
Just had
So
3 years.
it's got to help to be able to tell the story from 3 years ago till now. And I totally
Absolutely.
agree with you. I mean, I think where I feel you stand out, and not like I'm doing a brag book on you, but maybe I will a little bit, is your knowledge of the people here and how we do things. And I also think your voracious appetite for learning, the different podcasts. Like, it's all about creating value. I mean, there's enough people that call and talk about pain, but it's a different animal. I mean, ours is relational and just being there to help people.
Absolutely.
Great thing that you do. Hey, what do you love about what you do?
Well, I think this might be the token recruiter response, but every day is new, right? Like
That's
the
true.
fundamentals of every day are the same. You're going to make phone calls, you're going to send emails, send out text messages. So the actions really never change, but the conversations are always different. You never know who you're going to talk to. You may talk to somebody that you've never talked to that day, or you may talk to somebody that you've talked to over and over and over again, but now they're in a different place. And so just the constant element of surprise, people surprise you, you surprise people. And, that really keeps me excited about the job. I could be, someone that, punched buttons every day or did something else where the actions never change, but then the results would never change either. And that's one thing I really enjoy about recruiting is it's always, there's always something different.
Yeah. You're a phone call away from your next best friend, right? In the industry, and somebody that
Exactly.
you might be talking to for the next 10 years.
Yeah. And there have been situations where I've run into old people I went to high school with that are in the business now. And so it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. I mean, so there's always
Comes
something.
back full circle.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Hey, so what about when you think about leaders and people that you respect? What comes to mind as far as like leaders you've learned from or people that you really have a lot of respect for?
Sure. I mean, first and foremost, um, I think of the team that I support here at loanDepot. So our regional vice president, Jim Weir, all the branch managers, I can name them all off. There's Andy Warwick, Buck Kilman, Brent Duhame, Mike Mathis, Matt Vest, Kimberly Tommen, Ray Saldana, Shauna Oakley, James Buchek, and I think that's everyone. If I left somebody out, I apologize. But no,
Strong list.
Great people that truly care about and support their team and want to see them grow and be successful in this business. But then outside of that, small circle, thinking a little bit bigger, you've got the executive leadership here at loanDepot, Anthony Shea, Dan Hansen, John Bianchi, Tammy Richards, Jeff Walsh, everyone.
Yeah, solid team.
Yeah, they've done such a great job in these COVID times of just navigating the ship, clearly relaying information, not always making the most popular decisions, but the right ones.
Yep.
And then in the middle of all of that, and I really appreciated Anthony early on in this, very clearly expressing his frustration as a CEO who likes to think towards the future, being a little frustrated by the fact that it was really hard to do that because there was so much uncertainty. Yet, all the while, as this has evolved and moved forward, we've seen the company continue launching things that will impact the future over here. And not to make this a loanDepot commercial, but guys, there are really some cool stuff coming. But that's been very encouraging because the culture of this company, as I've always known it, thinking back to the first sales rally that I attended in October of 2017, is that this is a really forward-thinking company that believes that there is a journey of innovation here, and we're not targeting a certain destination per se, because once you target just the destination, then you get there and you're finished. We're never finished. And so that's really exciting. And I respect that a lot. And then just outside of the loanDepot family here, I think to guys like Barry Habib, who, just seems to always, be right. And so that's been really cool to see. And other leaders like Todd Duncan and Carl White that just give these great, expertise and tips for, loan officers and how to run their business a certain way, just some good ideas. And then anyone else that's out there creating content, doing the podcast, doing the live streams, doing things to give back to the industry in a way that they're sharing their knowledge and wisdom, so that other people in this business can take that and do something with it. Whether they choose to or not, it's up to them. But I think that's really important to give back to the business that's been so good to you. And so I really respect that about a lot of people.
Totally agree. Hey, speaking about podcasts, are there two that you listen to on the regular that, you find the most valuable?
Yeah, so I listened to Loan Officer Leadership by Steve Kiles. He's out of Houston, and he's really well connected with a lot of people. So, Steve, I don't think you were expecting this plug today, but I really respect what you're doing out there, and love that I get to hear some of the things you talk about. And then just over here, Alec Hansen's podcast. I like what Sean Uyahara does. Sorry if I mispronounced the last name, Sean. But and Chris Medellin. And then I do listen to Carl White's podcast from time to time too. So yeah, there's
so much information out there too. Those are good ones.
Yeah.
Switching gears over to Connor Bartley and who you are outside of work. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing when you're not emailing, texting, calling, and working with your business partners internally here to kind of grow the team.
Yeah, well, I'm being husband and dad. So my two favorite jobs, to be quite honest with you. We, my wife and I, we've been married 13 years. We got two daughters. One just turned 12 this weekend, and the other's 10.
Big number.
They, officially like a preteen now.
Right.
So look out. But they're both involved in like competitive volleyball. My youngest also plays basketball. So, we're going back and forth to practices and doing all that stuff. I personally have always grown up a basketball fan, a San Antonio Spurs fan, can remember the day they got the #1 pick to draft Tim Duncan, running around the house screaming Twin Tower. And just being really excited about that. But you know, so now I've been spoiled for a long time. For any of the basketball fans out there, they know. But so now I'm in it for the rebuild, and we'll see. But no, I mean, you know, my life outside of work's pretty normal. I mean, I don't do anything like bungee jump or skydive, but you know, we do board games and volleyball in the backyard and things like that. So we have a lot of fun here at the house.
But that keeps you busy. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. We got 2 dogs too. Sorry, I hate to leave the dogs out. A big one
and
and a
leave
little.
the fur babies out.
Absolutely. Love the dogs. So